Alright, let's look at this. So, we have just a simple old Memorex flash drive. Looks like we got a seam around the side. Let's work on seeing if we can't get it open here. Looks like it might be glued. Yeah, we need to use this. Need to be careful. Get this seam going. Use a little razor blade. Let me hit this side the same way. They only put a little, on these older ones, they only put a little glue on one spot and then let friction do the rest of the work.
Hey, thanks for checking out this video. If you like these videos, make sure you hit the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. It really, really helps the channel.
This is an old drive. Alright, there we go. Got it out. So, what we're going to do is I need to grab my USB extension, which is located somewhere within my office. Alright, thermal camera on. You guys can see it. Oh. With the thermal camera on, we are getting a hot spot in the memory controller, but it is not super hot. And I think it might not even be a hot spot per se. Not really much on these. Not reading any data. Switch back over to solder mode. So nothing hot. Let's pull out our multimeter. Multimeter in continuity mode. Oh, this is... So, is this a short or is this not a short? Doesn't seem to be. Like how this is another spot for another NAND chip. Well, it looks as though this thing might just be dead. Alright, so what do we have as far as voltages coming across here? Nothing. Alright, so there we got our 0.5. Wonder if this chip has just bit the dust. Something's not right. This voltage is fluctuating. The other thing that's not happening is this LED isn't turning on. So I'm wondering if one of these is actually bad. Oh, I wonder if this is bad. I wonder if that resistor's bad. So, in theory, depending on whether or not the memory module itself has an integrated, like, memory controller, then that determines whether you can do it or not. So if it doesn't have an integrated memory controller, like if it has an external one, let's say on this board, this was the memory controller. Removing this chip, this controller is what's telling this chip where everything is. So putting this on another board would just be like, oh, I don't know. So what you would have to do is you would basically need to attach a wire to every single one of these before removing the chip and making sure that this retains power, and then making sure that this, while it's retaining power, can be moved over to another board while it still has power. It's actually incredibly aggravating. It's not something that I do. Like I said, I wonder if one of these resistors is just gone. No. Yep. That's why it usually starts about $1,000. Let's see what numbers we're actually getting here. I have a feeling that might actually be shorted. I don't get anything from that. I don't get anything from that. That is probably normal. So we have a diode, and we have another capacitor. So I'm getting 0.9 there. I am getting 1.4 there. With this, so 1.6 is generally what I'm getting across the board here. So those different step downs. Do I get anything here? I do. So this side is nothing. So I guess that goes directly to ground. Doesn't make sense. 0.1. 1.07. So that's actually dropping the resistance correctly. I guess this might be on a ground plane. 0, 0. Great. 1.2. 1.20. 1.21. 0, 0. I don't think that's right. But then again, this might be for this, which isn't even here. Come in here. So this is all a ground plane. It goes to there. This is going through the capacitor. 1.3. This capacitor goes to this. I should still read 1.3, but I'm not. I read... How is that possible? Oh, these aren't connected. Never mind. So this goes... I just need to... Apparently I need to get a better view here. I thought these were connected, and they are not. So this... Let's follow this voltage. So from here to here should be 0. From here to here should be... 1.4. This should be 1.4. But it's not. Why is it not? 1.3. You're gonna voltage drop within the board, and this one here should be the same thing. 1.3. The other side of this, we're seeing 0. So this must be the ground plane. That's the ground. I don't know. I don't see anything specifically wrong with this. Let's go back to measuring voltage. Again, this should be the 5 volt right there. 5 volts. Yeah, so this isn't, it's not reading at all. Again, we have our 5 volt. Let's follow our 5 volt. 5 volts goes to here. I should still have 5 volts. Still have 5 volts. 5 goes to there. I should still have 5 volts. Goes directly into this. Which this should be the USB controller on this. Let me make sure here. I'll have to look and see where the 5 volts is supposed to be at, where else it's supposed to be on this chip. 3 volts, 0 volts, it's ground. 3 volts, 3, nothing. 0.1 volts, 0.186, 0.186. I don't know if this is actually working. That was one of the first things I suspected. Is this thing getting hot? There's actually nothing getting hot on this board anywhere. So, let's unplug that. I'm still kind of suspect of this guy here. Let's see if this is enough to light up our diode here. Interesting. This should be lighting up right now. Like 100% that should be lighting up. So here I have a stable voltage of 1.5 volts. When I flip this around, I should have nothing? 0.7. He says quietly to himself. These all are looking okay so far. I'm getting resistance there. Getting resistance there. Getting no resistance here. Diode. Yep. Yep. I am going back to suspecting this. Let's pull it off of there. Hey, little boy. Alright, let me grab a donor board here. So at this point, all I'm worried about is getting something in there to bridge that. And it not being just an open, like straight circuit. And one of these guys should do. Look at that. I'm actually reading something across there now. And then let's see what happens when we plug it in. Nope, still not reading anything. Sad. So as I said, like this was before, this was reading nothing when I did this. But there's also a chance that I just put too high of a resistor in there. Alright, back to work. Have fun. Could just use a wire temporarily to bridge that. What kind of resistance am I reading here? What am I reading on that? 95. And on this, I'm reading 6 mega ohms. This is 100k ohms. I'm actually making contact with the board. Looks like it is. Let's see if we have continuity now. I had continuity there before, so that's something. So that's also reading 0k ohms. Let's see if I can find it. I'm gonna replace that one too. See how we did. That looks good. We'll do the same thing. Okay. Still not seeing anything on this. Okay. Done. So, if that's not the problem, it's got to be this. I don't know. I'm not sure what's wrong with this. It's got to be this chip. So, like I can look up this chip and then find out for sure if that's supposed to be a ground. But at this point, I'm not going to spend any more time on this. As you can see, I can follow these vias pretty easy. So that goes straight over. And then you start getting into paint. Back up your data. In the US alone last year, over $10 billion was spent on data recovery. Don't rely on a single point of failure for all of your data. Get an online backup, something that is secure, reliable, and is encrypted. Like a Backblaze, a Carbonite, something where if one of these devices that you're using to store your data just suddenly goes away, you still have access to it. Like a lot of computers that I see come into my shops where people buy them from either eBay or Amazon are coming with super, super cheap SSDs in them that when they fail, it's done, it's gone. So if you have your primary computer backed up onto a device like one of these two, that's great. Also back it up online, because if your house burns down and this is in your house, your stuff is gone. Make online backups. It's worth the cost. 100%. Hey, thanks for watching that video. If you liked that video, make sure you hit the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And I stream daily on Twitch at twitch.tv/SpecVengeance. And yeah, if you want to learn more about my services, check out Bradenton PC Repair.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.